morning and welcome to the Senior Hour, which is sponsored by Comfort Keepers in Home Care, Santa Clarita Hearing Center, and Traditions Healthcare. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host,
Dr. Gene Dorio.
On your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220, KHTS. This is a show for, about, and by seniors, giving information to enhance one's quality of life. And our guest this morning is the one and only Dr. Thomas Polucki.
Good morning.
How are you, sir?
Awesome. It's great
Good
to be
morning,
here.
Thomas.
Good.
Hi, Dr. Dorio.
How are things going?
They're going. It's a beautiful day outside.
Yeah.
People should finally start to take advantage of, we now have spring weather once again. And get out early because it looks like it's gonna be a hot one.
Yeah, tomorrow even hotter, I understand.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think in the 90s.
Sounds good to me.
That's little sauna in Santa Clarita.
There we go.
Cool. Anything new going on, though, in terms of care for our senior patients in Santa Clarita that you can give our listeners advice on?
Absolutely. That's what I'd like to talk about today.
Perfect.
Normally, we talk about everything under the sun except for the basic fact that by license, I am a certified chiropractor, and I know a large group of people don't particularly even want to consider chiropractic. Unfortunately, there's still a pretty strong bias, regardless of how many people are helped by it. There continues to be a kind of almost a social stigma involved that is somewhat justified, but largely not so much. So I'd like to talk about a few of the things that are disturbing about chiropractic for the overwhelming majority of the population. That's, 8 out of 10 people will not go to a chiropractor. And some of that is justified, but mostly they just don't understand how it could possibly help them. And I'd like to clear up a little bit of that misconception for the most part. I can't defend the entire profession. In fact, I don't largely agree with most of what goes on in most chiropractic offices, but I'd like to clear up some things and how people can really benefit from this that is, accepted and covered by Medicare. So there's that. And how we can really fill in some of the missing pieces in your overall healthcare protocols.
Can I interrupt here a little bit? I think maybe the reason I'm with Dr. Polucki is because the other chiropractors I've been to put me on a bed and twist me and turn me and upside down and sitting down, and I'm thinking, I'm hearing all of these crackings, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, this doesn't seem right. So when I went to Dr. Polucki, he treated me completely different. There was no twisting and turning, none of that. And I didn't feel hurt after I left his office. I felt better.
Well, that's a good start.
Yeah.
So let's start with the elephant in the room, or gorilla in the room. I forget what it is. I think it's the gorilla in the room. As soon as you say the word chiropractor, more than 75% of the people are going to tune out because they have a preconceived notion exactly of what your prior experience had been.
Absolutely.
And that is the case in almost all chiropractic offices, that regardless of what your health concern is, what age you are, how small or big you are, every time you go there, you're going to have, your neck twisted until something cracks, your hips twisted until something cracks, and then your mid-back crunched all the way up and down. And the whole process takes about a minute. and then you're rushed out the door and for the next person. And as a side, adjunctive therapy, or let's just say feel good, they might put a hot pack on you or put some electric muscle stimulation. And that, unfortunately, that's what happens in the overwhelming majority of chiropractic offices. So I'm not about to defend that. I don't think that's appropriate. I don't think it's good science. But some people do tend to like it, so I hope I'm not offending anybody. I know I'm probably offending most chiropractors, but I don't really care. That never appealed to me whatsoever, and I think it is one of the main points that is getting in the way of the real benefit that is possible for so many people out there. If they just knew that they could get lasting relief from things like arthritis and back pain, and even their blood pressure can be managed so much more effectively, possibly without any medication whatsoever, because I know, because we do it all the time. um, Headaches, even migraines, even arthritis in the knees, in the shoulders, in the hands, neck pain, sciatica, shoulder pain again, all without having to rely constantly on more and more increasing medications that are designed to give you some temporary relief only while the drug is in your system. So that in itself is a huge factor. And all if all that was possible, that by going to a chiropractor was able to reduce the amount of even just over the counter medications that you needed to get through your day with, um, hundreds of thousands of lives would be saved every single year. And that's the real message that most people don't even consider, that if you can walk into a gas station or a 7-Eleven or a convenience store or at your grocery store and buy a bottle of pills, you think, oh well, it must be perfectly safe, and that is anything but the truth. 100,000 people a year wind up in the emergency room from over-the-counter medications, and some of them don't make it out alive. So the concept, the idea that oh, chiropractic is dangerous and it's scary, and I understand that some people may feel that way, but the fact is that even the worst chiropractor out there is thousands of times safer than over-the-counter medications statistically. So that is one of the things that is keeps people out of the office and doesn't really allow the overwhelming majority of the population to benefit from such a what could potentially be a great service to them. But again, I can't defend the whole profession. I don't try, because as Barbara said, we don't do things like most chiropractors. Now, again, not claiming to be superior in any way, just that I do things a lot differently, a lot more gentle than what people think of when they hear the word chiropractor. And people tend to really like that a lot, especially if you're sensitive or if you've been told that you really shouldn't see a chiropractor. I used to have a real problem with that. I'm like, who is deciding whether a patient is okay to see a chiropractor when they have absolutely no understanding of what goes on in my office? But I get it. I get it when a medical doctor tells their patient that, you really shouldn't see a chiropractor, because if I only knew what I see online, like those viral videos on YouTube where you see this attractive young woman who's being violently manipulated, and there's a pop-up that says turn up the sound so you can hear the explosion that's going on in her spine, I'd be like, yeah, no, my patients don't really need that. Thank you very much as well.
And I don't have a fear of falling off the table.
There you go. So for over 30 years of practice, I never had a patient fall off one of my tables. Now, when I say table, it's low. It's low to the ground. It's
Yes.
only about 2 feet off the ground. And I was able, anybody who had a fear of, well, I feel like I might fall, I could always tell them, that just doesn't happen. And then Barbara fell off the table. So she ruined my perfect record. But she's still a patient, so I guess it couldn't have been too bad.
That was totally my fault, though.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all.
That's right. That was funny.
The point is that there is a huge value to the kind of work that we're doing, and a lot of people tend to get amazing results for all those things that I mentioned: arthritis, back pain, blood pressure, headaches of all different kinds, knee, neck, sciatica, and shoulder. Most importantly, so that they can get back to what's really important to them, more energy in their lives, so they can get through their day and enjoy their grandchildren, more balance. And we can do a whole show just on balance and the dangers of balance as we get older.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there are some natural decline in balance as we get older. However, all of that can be improved on.
I can attest to that.
Yeah, in fact, one of the screening processes that I use in my new patients is a balance and coordination test that I also do some personal injury work. So I'm working with one of the top attorneys in the world, and I'm not just saying that literally, one of the top attorneys in the world. And he has his stable of very high-end doctors that he works with, and I'm fortunate enough to be one of them. One of the neurologists that he works with down in the Glendale area literally charges $10,000 for this exam, for this neurological exam that I do as a part of my initial screening process. So even though it doesn't seem to necessarily make sense to some people, it is very important to know how well that person handles balance, how well that person handles coordination in order to get an overall picture of what we need to be focusing on. Because balance is one of the primary reasons that people wind up in nursing homes.
Well, it's interesting. I must assume that I'm 25 years old again because I'll be sitting in the chair and the phone will ring or something, and I jump up and I think, whoa, wait a minute, Barbara, slow down.
Yeah, that can be very dangerous.
Oh,
for
believe
some
me, I
people.
know because I've fallen before.
Yeah. And unfortunately, people who really absolutely require to be on blood pressure medication, one of the problems with blood pressure medication is there's a lag time. The blood pressure does not regulate the way that it's supposed to, and that's why you need to be on the medication in the first place. But when you're on the medication, changing positions can be a very dangerous proposition.
Yeah, but I'm not even on blood pressure medicine anymore.
That's pretty amazing because
But-
when I met you, you were pretty high hypertension. You had pretty high blood pressure,
Yes.
even on medication. And we were able to drop that blood pressure for you to the point I didn't know that you went off your medication. That's really none of my business.
Yeah, but after Russ and I were in that automobile
Yeah.
accident, that's when I was really on blood pressure medicine.
Yeah.
But after coming to you and being relieved of the pain that I had as a result of that accident, I was able to gradually move off the blood pressure medicine.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, outstanding. So, what medical doctors are not trained on, so it doesn't even come up, is how blood pressure can be artificially higher than it should be if there is any kind of a problem in the neck. We see it all the time. If there is any kind of sprain or strain or chronic pain in the head, neck, or shoulders, that is almost invariably going to throw the blood pressure out of control. And that's why we tend to get great results with that, because that's the area that we specialize in. We take the pressure out of the back of the head and the neck and the shoulders, again, without any twisting or cracking. And we see amazing results with blood pressure that actually could not be managed with any amount of medication prior to that.
Well, you know, it's interesting. I can tell if my blood pressure rises. It all depends on what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know, if I all of a sudden reach down and pick up something and jerk, I can feel my body sort of rising. And it starts down and goes all the way up to my head. And I think, uh-oh, sit down, take a deep breath,
Yeah.
and calm down.
Yeah.
And that's what helps me lower the blood pressure. But my body tells me when my pressure is high.
Yeah, and that's smart because it's, again, a minor miracle that you were able to get off blood pressure medication, because that typically does not happen once somebody's on it. They're pretty much on some variation of it for the rest of their lives. 1/3 of adults actually are on blood pressure medication. So what you said is absolutely great advice. If you ever feel like you're losing balance or you're having that sensation of too light or too heavy, sit down immediately.
That's what I've learned to do.
The wise thing to do also that we add to this is that if you feel your blood pressure is elevated, you take your blood pressure. Everybody should have a blood pressure cuff.
Yeah.
Everybody should be aware of what their usual blood pressure is. And so if indeed you think it's elevated, you take your blood pressure, and if it's higher than what it normally is, you're right. There are other sensations that we might get that really it's not high blood pressure. But you want to differentiate it by using the blood pressure cuff just to make sure. And indeed, there are also episodes of blood pressure that can go. It comes and it goes. And for instance, with you, Barbara, you had the auto accident and you were in pain. So there was a lot of worry.
I also went through
anxiety,
cancer.
Emotional. Yep. But I'm saying that for those moments, your blood pressure could be higher, and then it comes down, and then you have to see if you can taper off of your medicine, which you have done. So, it is possible. And of course, just like Dr. Polucki says, and our listeners have to know that this country is over-medicated. And sometimes a lot of the individuals are on blood pressure medication, and orthostatic hypotension is what you were talking about before. When somebody stands up, they get a little dizzy and
lightheaded,
and it's because the blood pressure drops all of a sudden because of gravity bringing it down, and the body can't readjust quick enough, so the blood flow to the brain is compromised. So these are just things you have to be aware of. But, for our listeners, they should have a blood pressure cuff. Everybody should. And we've advised that, Barbara, you and I, for years, to take blood pressure and make sure that it's, exactly where it is. And then you can follow it, because sometimes it does go up in those circumstances, but it can come down as well on occasion, so you don't have to be permanently on it. But it's just a good and wise thing to do to make sure that a vital sign, which is blood pressure, one of them, that it's done and taken on at least a daily basis for the rest of your life.
Well, my blood pressure cuff is right beside my chair.
There you go.
Yeah, and we need to take a break, Dr. Dorio, and
Great.
we will be back in a few moments. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220, KHTS.
Celebrate the new year with the Canyon Theater Guild's new spring online youth workshops. Express yourself from the comfort of your own home with super fun classes like improv, script writing, audition techniques, and 2 brand new shows specifically designed for online performances. No borders, no experience necessary, and no end to the fun. Call 661-799-2702 or visit us at canyontheater.org.
If you're in need of physical therapy, check out Focus Physical Therapy. Owner and therapist Adam Laraway has the latest in cutting-edge technology, introducing the Newbie, the ultimate in neuromuscular re-education. The Newbie can help you heal up to 70% faster and was FDA cleared in September 2017. The Newbie uses pulse direct current, which mimics the same neurological signals the brain uses and allows the therapist to identify those signals with 100% accuracy. Newbie can even help improve your sleep while tackling issues with neck, knee, and shoulder pain, sciatica, and arthritis. It can accelerate your fitness progress, which means better results in less sessions. Get stronger quicker. Why not use the same technology that the Dodgers and the LA Clippers use? Focus PT, located on Peachland off Lyons in Newhall. Call 255-4205. Go online at focusphysicaltherapyscv.com.
When a person is diagnosed with a life-limiting illness, the patient and family may become overwhelmed with planning, emotions, questions, and fear. The Traditions Health Hour provides information and guidance to help them navigate through their end-of-life journey. Their goal is to help patients have the best quality of life possible while receiving the care they need in the place they want to be, home. Get your questions answered during the Traditions Health Hour, Wednesdays at noon, right here on KHTS, and live on Facebook at KHTS Radio.
Olive Terrace Bar and Grill is the hottest new Mediterranean fusion restaurant in Santa Clarita with unique delicacies like seafood right off the boat, mouth-watering prime steaks, artesian sandwiches, delicious pastas, and tasty kebabs. Unwind on their cozy outdoor patio at their weekend champagne brunch, full menu, and weekly specials at oliveterracebarandgrill.com. Check out their full bar and happy hour daily specials in Valencia on Copper Hill and Newhall Ranch Road by LA Fitness. Olive Terrace Bar and Grill, delicious food seasoned with love.
No, can you believe it? My owner just dumped me in front of the bins in this trash enclosure. Now I'm taking up space and blocking the bins from being serviced. Can someone let him know that Santa Clarita's waste haulers offer free large item pickup or drop-off? Bulky items, like me, can be dropped off at their local facility for free, or you can schedule a pickup. GreenSantaClarita.com has the instructions. It's easy. Don't dump. It's better for your neighborhood and keeps me off the streets.
It's against the law to evade taxes. Denny & Company are experts at minimizing your tax burden while staying within the bounds of the laws. Denny & Company, LLP. CPAs that make life less taxing. Call 286-8860.
Your hometown station.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220, KHTS. And we are speaking with the one and only, Dr. Thomas Polucki.
It's great to be back.
Yes. And I'll see you later anyway.
One of the things I wanted to bring up before we get back in, talk with Dr. Polucki, here in Santa Clarita, there are many of our older adults and disabled who have not received the vaccine, and they have not been able to be mobile enough to get to a vaccination spot. But Los Angeles County is now doing house calls and bringing the vaccine to our seniors and disabled. All you have to do is call a number, which is LA County Public Health, and they'll set up the timing and appointment for you to get that vaccination. So I want to get that number to those who are listening or those caregivers or family members that are listening, because this is important. if your loved one is at home or if you are at home and you have not gotten the COVID-19 vaccine, this is a time to do it where you can get the shot on a house call. So that number is 833-540-0473. That is 833-540-0473. And they will ask you, I think, 4 questions: name, your address, your phone number, and your date of birth. Then they will give your name, that information, to a team that will call you up and make the appointment to have the shot. And I think they're giving the Pfizer, but I can't be sure. But I think they're giving a Pfizer. And, of course, this is America, so you have a choice of which one, Pfizer, Moderna, or Johnson & Johnson, that you might want. So if you or your loved one is listening to this show, take advantage of a house call by LA County Public Health, 833-540-0473. It's an important vaccine. If you want it, now's the opportunity to get it. Okay, appreciate it. Thank you, Dr. Polucki. Let's go back to Barbara and falling off the 2-foot table.
I've not done that since. I've been very careful.
Very good.
So in the top half, we were talking about some of the misconceptions, some of the friction, some of the fear. Let's go with fear. Some of the fear surrounding safety. Now more than ever, people are concerned about being safer. And some people are starting to feel a little bit more confident about going to a doctor. And I wanted to address some of the fears surrounding, unfortunately, way too many people about chiropractic. So let me ask you this. If you knew that you could get relief from your arthritis pain, from back pain, from head pain, from neck pain, from sciatica or shoulder pain, and you could do that without drugs, without surgery, without getting stuck with needles, or even anybody twisting or cracking you in any way, would you still feel so frightened about trying to get that kind of a relief? Because for a lot of people, this is the answer that they couldn't find anywhere else, even when they did try pain management, when they did try surgery, and they still had the pains that they went in for those procedures with in the first place. And we see it time and time again. Most people do not come to me first. They come to me only after over-the-counters and then prescription medications, and in many times even surgeries don't give them the lasting relief that they're looking for, and then someone somewhere drags them into my office, occasionally against their own will, and they finally find the relief that they'd been looking for the whole time. And
Well, I've never seen anybody being dragged into your office since I've been going there.
well, we get you out in and out pretty quickly, so you don't see
I'm not
all
there
the
to see it. Okay.
you don't see all of the drama. And that's what most people are afraid of. They're afraid of, I saw something, or my doctor told me, or I saw something on TV, or I heard a news story, or something like that. And nobody can defend a whole profession. Of course, there are bad situations that happen under less than ideal circumstances, but overwhelmingly, even the worst chiropractor is safer than aspirin. And that's something that most people never even begin to consider. You never think, oh, well, what are you doing? You're taking an aspirin? What are you, crazy? Why would you want to do that? Did you know that 100,000 people a year wind up in the emergency room because of aspirin? Nobody ever does that. And yet that's an absolute fact. But if you say the word chiropractic, immediately a big chunk of the population is going to say, "Oh, what have you joined a cult or something? What's wrong with you? What don't you know that that's unscientific and dangerous? They're not real doctors. They're just scam artists and quacks." And I hear that way too much, even today. We have chiropractors. Even the worst chiropractor out there has more education than the average medical doctor. It's built into the program. We purposely had to create at least as good as a medical education just to address some of those fears of the public. And I have twice that, not including any of my postgraduate work. So even the baseline chiropractor has as much education as a medical doctor, and that alone is a huge surprise to most people. They're like, "Oh, I had no idea you actually had the same, or God forbid, more education than my medical doctor." Most people don't think that.
No, that you go to a chiropractic training school and that's it.
Or a weekend seminar or something.
Yes.
And as far as risk assessment is concerned, we have the lowest malpractice insurance of any type of doctor out there. Nothing even comes close. The closest thing, a step up, is a general practitioner, an internal medicine doctor, and they're 7 times. They pay 7 times the amount of annual premiums that the chiropractor do. So the professional risk assessors, the insurance companies, know where the risks are.
That's very interesting.
But the public has this idea that chiropractic is unscientific and dangerous.
Dangerous. That's right.
Yeah. And I deal with it every day.
But for the most part, chiropractors twist you and turn you.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
And you're not that.
No.
And that's why I used to have a fear of falling off the table, because the chiropractor would turn me sideways, pull me over to the edge of the table, and then manipulate my body and turn it back and forth.
Yeah.
And I could hear my clack, clack, crack, crack,
Yeah.
crack. But at the same time, I'm thinking, I'm going to fall off the table.
Yeah, I understand.
And I've said that many times. No, you're not. I have you. You're not going to fall off the table. But still, that fear is there, and it was there.
So you did fall off my table. But it wasn't because I was doing that to
No.
you. It's because you were turning over on your own, and you didn't really fall too far.
No. No, that was a shock to me. Even.
Yeah. You ruined my perfect record, Barbara. I don't know. But I'm glad it was you. Couldn't happen to a nicer person.
Well, I don't do, what do you call them, lawsuits.
Yes.
Don't do that.
Thankfully. Ay. But that, if in 30 years of practice, that's the worst thing that happens in my office, I think I'm in pretty good shape.
Yes, you are. You mean I'm the only one who's fallen off the table?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Christmas.
Actually,
Well, I guess
yes.
there's a first for everything, isn't there?
There is.
Oh, I don't know.
So, but back to why I'm here today, to try to dismiss some of the fears. Or, I never try to convince anybody of anything. If they're, just irrationally afraid of something, there's nothing I'm going to say. But if maybe a little bit of information, a little bit of fact may help ease some of those fears, if people even want to know. Because way too often, fear shuts off the ability to hear anything. As soon as you say a trigger for fear, pretty much anything you say after that point is just Charlie Brown's teachers. And unfortunately, people, especially in this past year or more, have just been piled on with fear, more fear about this and that, and touching a doorknob or walking outside by yourself on a mountaintop without a mask on. I'm like, what?
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 I know.
I mean, I get there's an issue out there. I get that it is dangerous to, at most scary numbers, 5% of the population. I get all that. But this constant fear propaganda that's out there, I guess it's what's necessary in order to get people to pay attention and comply, but I think it's overwhelmingly disturbing. And I don't know that it's exactly a healthy thing for the overwhelming majority of people out there.
Well, it's interesting. This morning I went out to get my papers because I get the Signal and the Daily News. And I went out in my house coat and I didn't have a mask on. And two people were walking along the sidewalk. They said, "Where's your mask?"
Yeah.
Today?
Yes, this morning.
Yeah.
And I'm
Were they
thinking,
kidding?
I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think they were. They were both wearing them, even though they were walking. And see, that doesn't make any sense to me.
No.
If you're outside and you're not around a bunch of people, why wear them?
Well, I give people a lot of leeway because for the past year, every media outlet has been pounding people about this whole thing. So you have to understand, even if it doesn't make any logical sense at all, you have to understand that when a fear response is conditioned nonstop for an entire year, people aren't thinking.
No, that's true.
They're not
That's
thinking
very
about,
true.
oh, wait, I'm more than 6 feet away. There's no possible way, even if you sneezed as hard as you could, that from 50 feet away, you're going to infect me in some way. And I'm wearing a mask, and I've gotten all of my vaccine requirements. They're not thinking in those terms.
No,
They're
that's
just like, oh, wait, someone without a mask. What authority do I call?
Yes, I
I mean, it's really, I think some of it has been overdone. Let's just say that.
Well, I
I
agree.
think most people can agree on that.
Yeah, and it's interesting when you see someone driving in their car and they've got their mask on, and I'm thinking, what?
Well,
And there's nobody else in the car with them?
Yeah.
I'm thinking, mine doesn't go on until I get out of the car
Right.
and there are people around me.
Well,
you know?
Even myself, who has a very strong opinion about this whole thing, I will wear masks just to make other people feel comfortable. I'm okay with that. I don't care if they absolutely mandate, if they make it a law that from now until the end of time, everybody in public must wear a mask. I don't care. It doesn't bother me at all. So occasionally I'll be wearing a mask in public and I'll forget that it's on. So I think a lot of these people are maybe in that boat where they just forget that they're wearing a mask at this point.
Yeah, could be.
I'll tell you one thing though, it's required in my martial arts, because we're in a group of people to
Right.
wear a mask, and I'm telling you, it's so much harder. It's so much harder wearing that mask. Like you're sweating, and once that thing gets wet, you want to talk about a real barrier. There is very little oxygen going through that thing when it's soaking wet. And I'm like, can I do this? Can I get through this class? Because, I can't breathe.
Wow. That's very interesting. Well, we need to take another break, don't we? I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS.
Experience luxury senior living at Oakmont of Valencia, Oakmont's brand new community in Santa Clarita. At Oakmont of Valencia, residents will enjoy 5-star amenities, including state-of-the-art movie theaters, spacious custom-built apartment homes, and sweeping views of the valley, all close to shopping, restaurants, and medical centers. Enjoy resort-style living, professional concierge services, a luxurious salon and day spa, and world-class dining. At Oakmont of Valencia, you'll embrace retirement in style. For details, visit oakmontavalencia.com.
Today for lunch, why not try The Sandwich Shop, located on Avenue Stamford, right off Rye Canyon. The Sandwich Shop offers dozens of hot or cold, affordable, premium deli sandwiches. Gourmet soups and salads are also available. Regulars indulge in the cheesy focaccia rolls, which is a customer favorite. Then top it off with owner Charlie Chung's chunky chocolate chip cookies. Breakfast and catering is also available. The Sandwich Shop, since 1983, located on Avenue Stamford, right off Rye Canyon. ValenciaSandwichShop.com to place your order.
Consumers Furniture is back open for your business. The safety of our community and our staff, above all, is most important to us. We will provide a safe and clean environment for you to find the perfect piece of furniture for your home. To help you with your purchase, we are offering 25% off your entire order or 24 months same as cash financing. And for our awesome essential workers, we will deliver locally your furniture free of charge. Consumers Furniture is located in the Centerpoint Shopping Center, below Sam's Club and Walmart.
Child and Family Center presents the virtual 5K Purple Walk October 17th to raise funds and awareness for its domestic violence program. Registration is $35, which includes a t-shirt, swag bag, and medal. Children 12 and under register for free. You choose the route, outdoors in your neighborhood or indoors on your treadmill. Take a selfie and share on social media. Help end domestic violence. Join the Purple Walk at childfamilycenter.org.
Save water and save money. SCV Water wants to help you find your fit and take advantage of conservation rebate programs that will help you save. Water your landscape more efficiently. Replace your lawn with water-wise plants. Conduct free in-home water surveys. Cover your swimming pool and more. Find the programs that fit your needs and start saving today. Visit conserve.yourscvwater.com to learn more.
That's conserve.yourscvwater.com.
When a person is diagnosed with a life-limiting illness, the patient and family may become overwhelmed with planning, emotions, questions, and fear. The Traditions Health Hour provides information and guidance to help them navigate through their end-of-life journey. Their goal is to help patients have the best quality of life possible while receiving the care they need in the place they want to be, home. Get your questions answered during the Traditions Health Hour, Wednesdays at noon, right here on KHTS, and live on Facebook at KHTS Radio.
If you're in need of physical therapy, check out Focus Physical Therapy. Owner and therapist Adam Laraway has the latest in cutting-edge technology, introducing the Newbie, the ultimate in neuromuscular re-education. The Newbie can help you heal up to 70% faster and was FDA cleared in September 2017. The Newbie uses pulse direct current, which mimics the same neurological signals the brain uses and allows the therapist to identify those signals with 100% accuracy. Newbie can even help improve your sleep while tackling issues with neck, knee, and shoulder pain, sciatica, and arthritis. It can accelerate your fitness progress, which means better results in less sessions. Get stronger quicker. Why not use the same technology that the Dodgers and the LA Clippers use? Focus PT, located on Peachland off Lyons in Newhall. Call 255-4205. Go online at focusphysicaltherapyscv.com.
Loss of hearing can affect the quality of life. Santa Clarita Hearing Center can help. They specialize in both preventative hearing loss and corrective measures, including diagnostic tests, new technology hearing aids, cochlear implants, hearing protection, and tinnitus treatment. They can adjust your current hearing aids or fit you for new ones. Santa Clarita Hearing Center also offers sleep molds, swim molds, and musician monitors. Book an appointment today. Log on to SantaClaritaHearingCenter.com, located on McBean Parkway next to the hospital. That's SantaClaritaHearingCenter.com.
It's like no other station I've ever listened to. It's great.
Your hometown station.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220, KHTS. And we're speaking with the one and only Dr. Thomas Polucki.
Once again, thank you for having me. So today, closing statements, I just want to address people's fears. If it's possible to hear this message, because I know as soon as fear is working on somebody, they can't hear much.
It's overwhelming.
It's overwhelming, yes. And understandably so. But some of the fears surrounding chiropractic certainly are not appropriate in the way that I do chiropractic. But even if it wasn't that, they should know some things. They should know that chiropractors have the same education as medical doctors. They just don't specialize in drugs and surgery. So the same basic sciences, the same anatomy, the same physiology. And when medical doctors start getting education on pharmacology, chiropractors start getting education on nutrition. When medical doctors start getting education on surgical procedures, chiropractors start getting education on physical therapies that relate to taking pressure off of the structure, off of the joints, off of the muscles, off of the nerves that cause so many problems for so many people. So it's not that, one is better than the other. I think in the perfect world, medical doctors and chiropractors should be working side by side on every single patient. I think there should be a bridge. I think the only people who are suffering from this artificial divide are the patients. I think I know for a fact up until the early 1970s, this was perpetuated by the American Medical Association for whatever reason. But that was over 40 years ago. So there's still this artificial divide. And when I would love to see something on any of the Healthline or WebMD or anything when they say all the lists of conditions of things that I know, because I go out, I research, I spend an obscene amount of time online trying to find, can I up my game at all? How can I be even better at what I do? And when I go out and research these things, I'll see something from, the number one listing on a condition. If you type in something, the first thing that pops up under the paid for ads is usually going to be some kind of information service like Healthline or like WebMD or something like that. And you go through something that I know the overwhelming of my patients get amazing results with. Chiropractic is never listed as an option.
Well, it's interesting. When I come to you on Wednesday, like today, I'm usually your first patient and there before you're actually really open.
Right.
And every time I go into your office, you're sitting at that computer.
Yeah.
Researching.
Yeah. Yeah, it's disturbing. It really is.
Well, to me,
I believe that is the job of every doctor. Every doctor should be constantly trying to improve their ability to help their patients.
But the collaboration is really important as well. And our listeners know, and you know, that I believed in chiropractic care. I have believed in acupuncture care, acupressure, all the different modalities to give patients a better life. So you are included in my repertoire of the way I treat my patients. And I think that's important. If people want to get a hold of you, your number is 753-9340. Is that correct?
Right. Do you see that on the feed? Are you watching?
I saw it on the feed in the beginning. Yeah, 661-753-9340. And I can guarantee that you'll get the best care possible through Dr. Polucki. Chiropractor is not one of these specialties that should be out with Pluto. It is a part of the modalities that we have for our patients. It's very important. And thank you for being on our show today.
Thank you.
And helping Barbara get off the table safely and making sure that our people in Santa Clarita as well are safe. We are sponsored by Comfort Keepers In-Home Care, Santa Clarita Hearing Center, Traditions Home and Hospice Care. Listen to us next week on the Senior Hour. Now go and enhance your quality of life.